Coming up on First at 4, a volunteer fire department in Knott County is remembering the life of its longest-serving member. And lawmakers will soon set new rules for air travel. Hear about the changes they want to see from airlines coming up.
Plus, the pattern looks more active as we head into the second half this week. We're breaking it all down coming up as First at 4 continues right now.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
The Hindman Volunteer Fire Department is remembering the life of its longest-serving member, James Sloan, who many knew as Jim. The Hindman Volunteer Fire Chief, Preston Hayes, says Jim served under every chief in the history of the department and will leave a lasting impact on their community.
We wouldn't have the things that we had today had it not been for Jim. And Jim didn't expect to be thanked for it, but Jim could always certainly tell you a story about any piece of equipment that you were holding. He was typically the guy that wrote the check for it.
Sloan served the department for 46 years. Not only was he the longest-serving member, he was the longest-serving secretary-treasurer in the department's 55-year history. WYMT's Olivia Calfee will have more on his legacy tonight at 6.
Skies are still mostly cloudy out there today. Temperatures have been a little cooler than we've seen the past couple of days. We will, however, continue to see temperatures ramp up as we head even later tonight, but definitely into tomorrow. The view outside from Buffalo Mountain, it's overcast. Temperatures holding steady in the low to mid 50s in many parts of the region, even middle and upper 40s across southwest Virginia and sneaking over the border into Harlan County. But other than that, we remain not too far from average, but still below average in many locations. That's a good 5 to 10 degrees, even not far from 15 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. So the cooler weather is not in your imagination. Yes, it is chillier out there today, and we'll continue to see chilly weather as we head through the next 12 hours. In fact, we're holding pretty steady where we are now for a little while longer. But notice, by the time we head into tomorrow morning, those temperatures are ramping back up. That's ahead of a big-time warm-up that we'll talk more about here in a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. This month is Women's History Month, the time to highlight the contributions and accomplishments of women in history. The Kentucky Museum is bringing back an event that showcases the triumphs of women in Kentucky's past, present, and future. Her Story was originally only meant to be a one-time event, but received so much positive reception, the Kentucky Museum decided to revive the event. It will feature hands-on activities from over 30 departments at Western Kentucky University, meet and greets with local women from various professions, and even a costume contest for girls who come dressed as their favorite women. Christy Spurlock, the education curator for the museum, says her favorite part of the event is showing young women they can accomplish anything.
Whether they're, listening to a doctor's stethoscope and talking to her, or whatever it is that they're doing, you can just see in their face, to have this day and this event with the focus on girls, on women, on giving them a vision of what is possible for them.
The event will be at the Kentucky Museum this Saturday, March 25th from 1 p.m. till 5 p.m. For more information, you can visit wku.edu/go/herstory. Well, do you want to see improvement in air travel? The federal government could soon be making that a reality. It's now time for Congress to reauthorize the Federal Aviation Administration funding for the next 5 years. WYMT Washington correspondent Brendan Cullerton breaks down what changes national leaders are looking for from the department.
Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle say air travel this year has been pretty bumpy. Now they need to write the FAA rule book for the next half-decade. It has been a turbulent year for airlines. Cancellations, long lines, and luggage left stuck at the baggage claim. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says the government could soon demand better from airlines if Congress passes new aviation laws.
It's the right time for Congress to be working across the aisle and with us on improving the passenger experience.
Buttigieg says he's pushing for reforms he has put on the DOT customer service dashboard, from complimentary hotels during an overnight delay to free rebooking after a cancellation and guaranteeing parents can sit with their kids for no extra charge.
It's hard enough to be flying with kids when you don't also have to discover at the gate that you're going to be expected to pay extra just to sit next to your own kids.
Congress is holding a hearing on FAA reauthorization and funding. House Aviation Subcommittee Chairman Garrett Graves says it's not just companies. He says outdated government air traffic control technology makes it harder for airlines to track planes, leading to safety concerns and poor customer experience.
I mean, how many times have we gone to the airport and rushed there only to find out later that we're going to have to wait 2 hours whenever that information was actually available hours before, and it just wasn't shared with passengers because of in many cases, the government's delays.
Graves says Congress is also looking into keeping the airspace safe with so many more drones flying, and even looking into dimensions of the cabin for travelers.
Seat size, aisle size, the pitch of the seats, all those things often come up.
Current funding for the FAA runs out at the end of September. In Washington, I'm Brendan Cullerton.
The House Transportation Committee is holding a hearing on FAA reauthorization tomorrow. President Biden's FAA nomination is once again on hold. The Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation abruptly delayed its vote scheduled for today. It's not yet clear why the committee delayed the vote to consider Phil Washington's nomination. President Biden's pick was first announced 8 months ago. It has since faced continued resistance from Republican members of Congress regarding a number of issues, including Washington's slim aviation-related credentials and potential legal entanglements. Today marks the second day of the massive Los Angeles school service workers strike. Thousands of school staff, including cafeteria workers, bus drivers, custodians, and special education assistants, left the job for the picket line this week. That has caused classes to be canceled in the country's second largest school district. The Service Employees International Union is seeking a new contract with better wages. The United Teachers Los Angeles Union has pledged solidarity with the striking workers. Coming up on First at 4, are you finding it challenging to buy a new car? Well, you're not alone. We'll have some ways you can navigate the changing market.
Rain showers, even some thunderstorms on the way, along with mild and breezy weather thanks to this warm front. Breaking it all down after this.